The moment that changed everything started with a toddler holding his mother's hand in a busy shopping center. Then, in just a few seconds, he was gone. 2-year-old James Bulger was like any other little boy. Bright eyes, tiny steps, and a curiosity about everything around him. On February 12, 1993, his mother, Denise, took him to a shopping center in Bulger, near Liverpool. It was supposed to be a normal afternoon, quick shopping, then home. But normal turned into a nightmare. At one point, Denise stepped into a butcher's shop for just a moment. James stood right beside her. Security cameras later showed him wandering near the entrance. And then, 2 older boys approached him. They were only 10 years old. Their names were John Venables and Robert Thompson. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. The boys gently took James by the hand and began walking him out of the shopping center. On CCTV footage, James can be seen calmly walking between them, trusting them completely. And that's the part that still haunts people today, because he had no idea where they were taking him. Over the next several hours, the 3 boys walked nearly 3 miles across Liverpool. Along the way, witnesses saw them. Some people even questioned the older boys, asking why a toddler was crying. Each time, they had an answer. They claimed James was their younger brother, so people let them go. This is where things get disturbing. Multiple people saw the trio walking together. A woman even noticed James crying and being roughly handled, but nothing seemed serious enough at the moment for anyone to stop them. And every step they took brought James farther from safety. Eventually, the boys led him to a quiet railway line area. What happened next would shock the entire country. The details were so disturbing that many news reports avoided describing them fully. But what investigators later discovered revealed a level of violence that nobody expected from children so young. The 2 boys attacked James. He suffered severe injuries during the assault. Afterward, they left his body on the railway tracks, hoping it would look like an accident involving a train. But their plan didn't work. Soon after, authorities began searching for the missing toddler. CCTV footage from the shopping center quickly became the most important clue. The police released the grainy image of 2 boys leading little James away. The photo spread everywhere, across newspapers, television, and police stations across the country. People stared at the image, trying to recognize the boys. And then, someone did. Within days, police identified John Venables and Robert Thompson. When investigators questioned them, their stories didn't match. The timeline fell apart quickly. Evidence connected them directly to James's disappearance. Eventually, the truth emerged. The entire country was stunned. Because the suspects weren't adults, they were just children, 10 years old. The trial that followed became one of the most controversial trials in British legal history. Courtrooms filled with journalists. People struggled to understand how children could commit such a brutal crime. Some blamed violent media, others blamed neglect and troubled childhoods. The debate quickly grew beyond the courtroom and into a national conversation about responsibility, parenting, and the justice system. But none of that changed what happened to James. In November 1993, both boys were found guilty of the murder. They became the youngest convicted killers in modern British history. And yet, another debate immediately began. What should happen to children who commit crimes this serious? The boys were sentenced to detention during Her Majesty's pleasure, a type of indefinite sentence for minors. Years later, after serving time, both were eventually released with new identities under strict protection. But the story didn't end there. The case left a permanent scar on the United Kingdom. Laws were reconsidered, media ethics were questioned, discussions about childhood responsibility intensified. Even decades later, the image of James walking away with the 2 boys remains one of the most chilling pieces of CCTV footage ever recorded. a toddler trusting strangers in a moment that would lead to tragedy. And the question that still lingers today is one that many people can't answer. How could two children commit a crime that shocked an entire nation?